Hello everyone, welcome to the next session of Elaborating PLC series. In last session, we have already discussed about the input module as well as the output module. In today's session, we are going to discuss about the sink and source concept. So basically, this concept is very important if you are thinking about the connection part. So at least you should have in detail knowledge about the source and sink concept. So basically, here you can see this concept is categorized into the three different parts. The first one is the source field input device. The second, sink source sink field input output device, and the third one, that is nothing but the source and sink input output card. Right. So first of all, let us see about the source field input output device. See what exactly the meaning of source. Basically, the source, the field devices. Here I am talking about the input as well as output device also. Okay. When the field devices which are connected on the positive side of the field power supply. So what we can say, the source field input device. So here if you are observing this figure, in this figure what we are observing, the field devices here, the switch as well as the temperature switch, the push button here, the both are connected on the positive side of the power supply. Right? So that is the reason what we can see. This is the source type field input connection. Okay. And if you want to connect this input in the sink type, simply what we need to do, we just need to connect our field device on the negative side of the field power supply. Right? So here you can see the negative side, that is nothing but the DC common. Here I am showing you. So as we have already discussed, here you can see, so this is the common. Right? We need to connect the field input output device on the negative side of the power supply. Okay. So for your more understanding purpose, here I am going to show you the connections of a field input source field input output device and the sink field input output device. Before that, here you can observe the sink source concept for the DC input. Okay. So here you can see the DC power supply, the positive end of the power supply, we have connected the field input output devices. Field input devices means what? Like this. So this is the switch. Similarly, you can connect the push button as well, like this. Okay. The push button, right, directly. So what we can say, this is the source type field input connection, or we can say PNP as well. Now the sink field input device. In the sink field input device, what you are observing, you can observe. So we have provided the DC power supply directly to the DC input module, right? And to the DC input module, what we have connected the field devices. Here that is nothing but the common, right? Common. Okay. So this concept is for the sink. Similarly, if I'm saying the source field output device and the sink field output device, so for that purpose you have to follow the same concept as we have discussed about the source and sink field input devices, right? So here again you can see, right, so this is about the source and this is about the sink concept. Okay, basically the output card comes with the plus VDC terminal. Here you can observe the plus VDC terminal. Okay. The same thing you have to understand about the source and sink field output device also. Okay. Now I'm just going to show you the circuit diagram, so that you can able to know the concept of sink and source easily, right? See here, basically in this part, I'm going to show you the few more things here. Let me draw some things like in this connection. I'm going to show you the inbuilt part of the PLC also. Okay, just for your understanding purpose, here I'm just going to connect the terminals. Like here you can see. So this is the power supply terminal. So So here some input terminals. See, I'm just going to connect two input. Okay. Similarly, as per the requirement, you can connect the multiple inputs, right? If you are using the modular type basis, right? Okay. Now here the one more terminal which we require. Here I'm connecting one more terminal. Here I'm taking. Okay. Here I'm also going to show you the inbuilt part of the PLCs. Change the color so that see now. Okay, see I'm just going to provide the names here. The first terminal, this will be for the positive power supply, 24 volt DC actually, right? Here I am highlighting this is the positive one, and this one is the common, right? This one is the common, or here I am writing 0 volt. Okay. So first of all, we are going to see about the source input. Okay, if you are using the source input connection, so what will be the connections, right? Source input connections. Okay, see, so actually this is the block diagram, so that on field also you can easily able to connect the number of inputs and output in terms of source, right? See, here I'm writing the few things. The first one is, so this will be the inbuilt power supply actually, because the PLCs are available with the inbuilt power supply. Okay, so this one is the positive, and this one is the negative. Okay, so similarly we need to provide like this. Here I have connected the positive terminal, the positive one, and the negative terminal to the negative one, like this, positive and the negative. Now we have already discussed about the isolation concept. Here in this case I am again going to draw the isolation, right, like this. Here let us consider this one is the resistor. In order to limit the current, here I am again drawing this one is the photodiode. Connected to the sink and source, right? So here you can observe the S oblique S. The S oblique S means to say this is the sink and source terminal, right? Okay. Now, as we know that when you are providing the power supply, the light will get incident on the gate terminal, right? So this one is the gate terminal, this one is the collector, and this one is the emitter. So we have already discussed about the optocoupler concept, so I'm not going to tell you again here. Okay, see, now here let us assume that this one is the first input terminal. Here I'm just writing the I0, right? I0, first input terminal. I0, this one is the I1. Okay, there's so many, the minimum inputs as per your requirement. So let us assume that here we have connected the switch. Here I have connected the start push button. This one is the start push button, which we have connected to the I1. Okay, so you can say the terminal number 0 and terminal number 1 as well. Okay, see, here we are talking about and discuss about the source input connection. So if you want to connect your field input in the source input connection form, so in that case we have already discussed the field input devices which we need to connect on the positive side of the power supply, here like this. So we need to connect these two field input devices to the positive side of the power supply. Okay, the positive supply of the power supply, and we need to compulsory short circuit or shorted these two terminals, sink source terminal and the common terminal. Okay, so this is about the source input connections. Okay, this is about the source input connections. And if you want to connect the field inputs in the sink form, so what we need to do, it's very simple. See, what we need to do, simply we just have to change some connections. Here I'm writing sink input connection. For the sink input connections, what you need to do, See, simply we have to make small change like this. The field input devices or the field devices which we need to connect the negative side of the power supply like this. Here I have connected, and we need to sort it the positive terminal with the sink and source terminal, right? So what we can see, this is the sink type input connections. Okay, sink type input connections. Okay, now here we have discussed about the sink source field input output devices. Now coming toward the last type of the sink and source. So here you can observe, so this is related to the cards only, in the sink type card and source type card. So basically the input card, most of the input cards are available in the sink form, and most of the output cards are available in source type, right? So here if I'm saying I'm using the sink type input card, then what does it mean? It means that here you can see the power supply flow will be from field devices to the DC input module, right? Means from the main power supply is provided to the field device, and from field device to the DC input module. So this is about the sink, right? Means the power supply flow is from field device to the DC input module, right? And what about the source? The source, first of all, we need to provide the power supply to the DC input module, and the field device will take the power supply from DC input module. So that is the reason what we can see source. Okay. Sink means what? It will take the power supply, and the source means what? It will provide the power supply, right? So this is the simple concept about sink and source. Now the next component, that is the bus system. Along with that, the connections of the modular type PLC, for example SLC 500, we will see in next session. Thank you.